I mean, we'll just stay in Kamloops, dude. We got to go to fucking Kyle Masters. So I was very curious to see how he would do. I was very curious to see how he would do. During World Juniors when Bankier and Stankoven were gone. And the answer is the exact same. So he's on right now. I think he's got points in 3 of his last 4, 9 of his last 10. So this year he's got 40 points in 36 games. And for context, last year in 65 games with Red Deer, he had 14. So we had 26 more points in what's the math there? I think I said 29. I think that's the math. 29 fewer games just playing in Kamloops. And again, they lose their 2 biggest offensive weapons, and he just keeps on going. So now I'll be curious to see what happens when Zellweger's there. He's not going to be the power play anymore at all because Zellweger will be out there for all 2 minutes because he's that good. But last night, literally 3, 4, 5 minutes into the game, primary assist for Bankier on a snipe. And he's not a kid that's all about points. Clearly, last year he was playing. It was actually fascinating. I think it's Mitch Brown from Elite Prospects. He does all the underlying numbers and tracks like CHL data. And Masters was in every area outside of actual production, was like a top 5 defenseman in every single category. But this year now he's just got the points to go along with it. Obviously, he's been a significantly more offensive role, being leveraged completely differently. But he's just such a fucking stud. He's so fun to watch between just the skating ability, and he's also definitely got a bit of a screw loose where he just it kind of feels like if there's a game that he feels like there's a no-hitter and he's just not enough chaos, he'll just do something and you're he'll just take someone's fucking head off and you're like, what the fuck, man? But he's just a fun player to watch. And even at development camp, I was kind of curious to see what he'd look like amongst all the other prospects in some of those games. And he's just it's crazy just seeing him and knowing last year he basically didn't put up any points. So obviously, we said this last year, put him in a more offensive team. I was begging for that trade last year, and it happened to the best possible team. And you're now just seeing the results. And again, no Bankier, no Stankoven, he was still putting up points. So, again, he's another guy that you want to talk about the development curve and the ascension. He is riding that high, and he hasn't slowed down whatsoever. And again, he's probably my favorite prospect of the pool, and everyone knows that. It literally Russo mentioned him one time on a podcast during dev camp. He's like, no one knows about this guy. And I was like, yes, keep saying it. Keep telling the people, Russo. But he's awesome, dude. He's just so fun to watch. He had actually I think it was a couple weeks ago, he had this ridiculous spinorama backhand assist to Stankoven. And then everyone's like, who's this Kyle Masters kid? And I was like, all right, let's talk about it. You want to jump on the podcast? I'll tell you. But he's another one, just another one that's just been a stud. And again, the fact that he did this without those 2 there during the World Juniors, I think it was awesome. So everyone knows how much I love Kyle Masters. He's my favorite prospect to watch. I mean, even his roster photo is fucking hilarious. I don't know what someone said when they took this picture, but it is. I'm looking at it now. I don't know
what they said.
He's just a shit-eating, just such a shit-eating grin. Again, this is the face I picture him making during games. It's exactly what I picture. But yeah, he's just continued to play unbelievably well this year, and it's good to see. And the fact that he did this without those 2 there during the World Juniors, awesome. So again, stud, all around game. Love Masters. We all know this. And I kept that to less than 12 minutes.
True. But we still got to talk quick